Well, g'day gang. This lady brought this car in and said it's got a bit of a noise. And I just keep turning up the radio louder. I don't know how long this noise has gone on. But you can see there's been scraping there on the rotor. I don't know if we can actually... Can you see in there? Can you see how much that moves around? Why don't we just aim you at that? There you go. Guess you can see that. Just turn the radio up a bit louder, she says. So we're going to replace this wheel bearing. The rotor's no good. We changed the rotors, we're going to change pads as well. Anyway, I'm just going to get the wheel off, we'll have a bit more of a look. Now here's a little bit of a thing. This has got a couple 100,000 kilometres on it, 250 or something like that. Now that hub centre there looks reasonably recent, along with the axle nut. It looks fairly clean and newish. So I'm wondering, did that just come loose? And make that go like so. Hang on a second, I'll just give that a bit of a... No, the axle nut's tight. Oh no, it's not. No, it's not at all. Hey? There we go. How lovely is that? Now is the bearing going to be alright still? That's going to be the question. So it looks like someone's been in there with something. You can see the mark where they've actually had a socket or something on it. So okay. So we may even have to change the flange. But I'll get the rotor and the caliper off. We'll have a look a bit further inside there. Here's something you might find interesting. These you'll find on a shock absorber, gas shock absorber. It'll have a bend there, so this round section will be standing up that way, and the same on the other end. They'll be standing up. You just flatten it out like so, and it then becomes a great tool to hang your caliper. Now the lady doesn't want to replace the rotor. I've just found. So we're going to do the bearing. Hopefully the hub's not knackered. I can see we've got a little bit of grease there coming out of the CV. It's now on the caliper. The boot, no, I think it's okay. Alright. And then, okay, so I'm going to proceed to take this whole hub off, this whole stub axle off. It's quite simple, and not here at the tyre loaded end, the two at the strut, and this fella right in there. Undo those and that'll come right off. I'll pull the ABS sensor off it, wheel speed sensor. And then we'll get her over to the press. It's actually got me wondering now because everything's loose. I mean, I did put a spanner on it, 18mm ring, but I really didn't put any effort into it. No rotor, she said. Can't afford it. Oops, days off we come. We go over here. And you can sit up next to the busted head gasket, eh? there's your problem. That's the way getting sorted out. Okay. Alrightio. We'll get the rest of it undone, eh? And then come back to you when I've got that all unbolted. Now when I see, well, some people call them cotter pins, I call them, we in Australia here, we call them split pins. Looks like that's been used a couple of times by the look of that. Now, you can see it there, yeah, you can see the shape of the eye in that. But that's just plain out lazy. And that's, it's one of the things I really just can't cope with, really. I know it's a minor thing, but you know, the way the split pin goes in when it looks, you know, when you've done the job. Anyway, show you how I put it when I get to that bit. Okay, so I'm going to zoom you in because I've seen a few people having troubles. Where are we? There we go, right there. Getting ball joints and tyre rod ends off. And often you'll see people using a ball joint splitter. It's a pickle fork. I don't know whether this has been done before with a fork, but I only ever use a hammer, because that is tapered. This where the shaft goes in is tapered. If you punch it kind of close to about the bottom of it, it squeezes the bottom and it pops that out. I guess demonstrations, just block your ears for a minute because it's going to get noisy. Just like that. You'll never have a problem if you do it that way. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is knock the hub out of the middle of the bearing, and by the look of that I don't think that hub's any good, because that should be a snug fit, and if you see she's not snug. So I'm going to knock the hub out of the middle of it, because there's a circlip up under there. And we'll pull the circlip, then we can push the bearing out. Okay, so we've separated them. There's our circlip. You should be able to see that. Circlip rest here, yeah. That's got to come out. So here's our issue. Let's just shoot this to pieces, which is a pretty common thing to happen once the bearing either fails or is left loose. But if you look in here, you can see the case hardening has gone off the bearing. That's all those marks there. The case hardening is gone. So we've got bearing failure, and resulting in that the end of the hub. And of course, it's already started to. This would normally be a 90-degree surface to the side, and it's already countersunk it. So that is pooched. Zoom me back out again. And now I'm just going to press this out of that hub there. Get another one of these. I've already got a bearing, so I'll get it all ready, eh? So here we are in the dungeon room. With a whole heap of a potpourri, shall we say, of stuff. Bugger out of me. Stand back. This is the dungeon room, by the way. There we go. more. Build him up a little bit more. If you could see what I got down in front of me, you go, are you kidding me? There's just old bearings galore. And I mean galore. Pick that fella up. Do you want to have a look at that mess? Hang on a sec. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll do a few bearings. So we've got a new bearing, a nut, and a retaining clip, and the new hub. We can go on the ground there. Let's just double check a few things here. Yeah, we're good in the height there. Yeah, studs are all goody. So we'll start putting that back together. And I suppose we better, just for official, to make it official, I'm going to make sure that she slips on here. Yep, good fit. All right, we're happy. Okay, so we'll get this all together and press this bearing into here, then press the hub into the center of the bearing, and after we've of course put the circlip in, and then put it back on the car. I know it's a little dark in here, but that's the way the dungeon works. So you've got to be a little bit more inventive when you press it all back together again. As you can see here, we've just got bits and pieces. There's a bearing there with an iron strap on it, and there's a block over there a bit. Looks like I could probably have something a little higher under there. But anyway, I'll sort that out. Go and get the bearing, we'll push her in the hole. Now on the bearing, you don't want to press on that section there. You want to try and press on that outer section. Leave that alone. And that's that. We're going to put the split pin, we're going to put the circlip back in this. Now the bearing, a nice new bearing, and the circlip's in there. We're going to take this over and put it in the press again. We'll invert it. This will be on the bottom. You tip it up. Support it on the here, and then we'll press away. And hopefully it all goes down the way it's supposed to go down. know when it's home. It just won't go any further. Still going. Stop. And there we go, my friends. Alright, I'll zoom it back out. I'll go out there we go. Beautiful. Okay, well, time to whack it back in. Okay, here comes an interesting bit. Now, if you were paying attention, you'll notice when I took this nut off, this has got no castellations in it. So the nut just goes on, and the split pin goes through, and all it does is really just stops that from falling off. It doesn't stop it from coming undone. But in amongst all my stuff there, find a castellated nut, we'll wind it up, we'll line up the holes, and we'll get a new split pin. So we've got our cotter pin, our split pin in. There's a new one. What I like to do is I like to get the long section, put it towards the end here, pull it round and under, and just lock the back off. And when you see that, I'll just zoom it back out. When you see that, it looks like someone really gave a shit, doesn't it? You know what I mean? That's how you do your split pins. That's how you do them. All right, let's get the rest of it back together. Now, because this has got no key or no notch to pin a little edge to stop this from backing away, got a little bit of Loctite on the thread there, and that'll stop that from coming out. It is, if you have a look, it is pinched on the edges. If you can see that, they've pinched it in a couple of spots. That's, in other words, they've pinched that area of the thread in, so that'll bite onto the threads here. Yeah, we'll keep going at it. We'll come back. Here's another little tip for you. Because these rotors are floating rotors, they don't like to sit up on where they're supposed to sit while you try and put the brakes and all the stuff back on it. I get an old nut, and that is actually an old nut from the and we do this. Just do that by hand, and that's going to hold that all in place for you so that it doesn't wobble around. No, you don't have to do it up tight, just like that. It'll stop that from wobbling. She's happy days. Now we've got clearance down each side there. Nice. Torque specs, look them up. This setup will be exactly the same on most vehicles with a front wheel drive system. Look up your own specs for here. For here, for here, and for here. So it holds the caliper on. Also for here if you wanted to. Where are you? There we go. Also for the tyre end. The figure I use is what we call tight. Okay. I can't tell you much more. I'm going to tell you that there's probably about 80 foot-pounds on these bolts, just thereabouts. Most anything, you know, I mean, it's use your melon. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'll get this all back together and we'll go for a ride. Sorry for all the interruptions, but I just keep thinking of things. Now, this has got a European style slide that uses a 7mm hex, and you've got to be really careful with these when you put them in, because they sometimes don't go in real straight, and if that's the case, you're going to have yourself a hell of a time trying to get it in square. So you just got to go in, jiggle him around, go in with him as far as you can with your pingies, and then start applying toolage at it. Okay, well, with that all back together again, she says she's coming in next week to have new rotors put on. Her pocket's not very full, and it is only 2 weeks till the big fat bastard in the red suit comes scooting down your chimney and shits all over your fucking lounge room floor. Sorry about that, just my opinion. But anyway, we'll make sure I'm sure that the noises is going to be gone now. And but we'll whack the wheel on and go for a rip. Don't forget your spring. The easiest way I do them is I'll clip this side in here over the top of this, bring it back up, stick this one in this hole, and a screwdriver and pry it across there. They go in pretty easy. If you've never done one before, you will struggle. But anyway, I think I've covered all bases now. So that was probably about, I guess, a half an hour, 30 minutes. And she actually thought she had crook brakes. Well, we saw the marks on the rotor, but when I test drove it, the manager test drove it first, and he's not real good at picking noises, let's just say that. But I noticed as soon as I turned the wheel, the brake pedal next to the application of the brake pedal, it just vanished, it went away. Very, very deep brake pedal. I'll just put the CD on. When I get in trouble, I'll probably get in trouble for holding the camera. You really couldn't go too far without this thing making a racket. Put the window up, and it was growling like you wouldn't believe. And it should be half decent now, at least in that department. It sounds like it's got rear wheel bearing noises in it too, but that one's gone. And it's got rack end movement. It's got issues. Look at the steering wheel position. It's just, you know, how do you fix things up when people haven't got money? And you can't. I mean, you got to do the things that are the worst first. You know what I mean? Things like that wheel could have just come apart. That bearing just could have come apart hard and just yep, ruined her day, I guess. But it's certainly better. But that's got other wheel bearing noises in it now, but nothing like it had. And it stops. And she said, I think I explained to you, she just said, oh, just turn up the radio. What does she listen to? Okay, whatever that is. Alright, anyway, have yourselves a good one. We'll check you later. That's how you do a front wheel bearing on a front wheel drive vehicle. Check ya.